Gainesville. I'm Virginia Grant with Gainesville Black Professionals. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Synergy the Podcast. Today, I have the wonderful pleasure of talking with Jasmyn Copeland of the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. Hi, Jasmyn. How are you?
Hey, Virginia. I'm doing great. Happy to be on here.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. So I understand that we have a Big Brothers Big Sisters program back in Alachua County. Tell me a little bit about it.
We do. We are super excited to be back in Alachua and be able to serve our families here. Yeah, so we came in right at the very beginning of the pandemic, and we have been reaching families ever since.
So Jasmyn, I know that there's always a need for big brothers and big sisters. If someone that's listening today is interested in volunteering, how would they do that?
Yes, so they would go on over to the main hub website, the Tampa Bay website. They would go to bbbstampabay.org. They would go to Be a Big, and they would scroll down and just pick the training that they want to participate in. And that's where a lot of the questions that the volunteers have floating around in their head that are keeping them from taking that first step get answered at that training.
Oh, awesome. So I know, like, if I consider being a big sister, one of my big questions would be like, how much is the time commitment? Like, how much do I have to give of myself?
Absolutely. I think that that's probably our number one question, Virginia. I think a lot of people want to know that because all of us are short on time. We have big hearts and we're short on time.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we're short on time, we make a choice that maybe isn't going to feed our soul as much. So one of the things I love about volunteering is it really does just that. It's the thing that feeds you like no other. So usually it's somewhere between 6 to 8 hours a month. And so for some people, for some volunteers, it looks consistent every week. For others, it looks like a bi-weekly kind of a setup. So there's really a lot of flexibility in our community-based program.
Okay, awesome. That's good to know that there's the flexibility in it. How do you all go about matching a big sister or a big brother to a little sister or brother? How does that work?
Yeah, so I appreciate that. And one of the things that I love about our program, we've been around for 100 years, Virginia. And one of the areas that I feel like just really sets us apart is our vetting process. So the amount of time that we invest in our volunteers to really learn who they are, what makes them tick, and what they enjoy. And we do the same thing with the littles, and we do the same thing with the parents. So we spend a lot of time getting to know all parties involved, and then we start taking steps to make an actual match, is what we call it.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Jasmyn, thank you so much for coming on. If you're out there listening to this podcast and you have a few hours every month that you can devote to a young person, please consider signing up for the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. Jasmyn, is there any last comments you want to share with our audience before we close out today?
No, but I would love to say, Alachua County, we are so blessed. We have so many amazing individuals. And so if you have the heart to want to volunteer, please come find us over at Big Brothers Big Sisters and come in. We're specifically looking for males, and we would love to be able to match our littles with people of like-minded aspirations.
Awesome. I love it, Jasmyn. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you all for joining us for this episode of Synergy the Podcast. We'll see you next time.